Hello.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome to the City of Masters. On the 15th of Shvat, every year, we celebrate the holiday of Tu B'Shvat, which means the New Year of the trees. This year, it happens to come out this Wednesday night and Thursday, the 27th of January. So what is a Rosh Hashanah? What is a new year for the trees? Don't we celebrate it usually like end of September, October? Why do we need a separate new year just for the trees? Have you ever thought about it? It's a good question, huh? So it turns out that it has to do with the land of Israel, right? Where the Jewish people came from. This is our land. And during the holiday of Sukkot, the holiday of rain begins, and it rains for about 4 months, all throughout the fall and some of the winter. And around this time of the year, that's where the rain stops, and that's where people start to plant again. So we actually separate all the trees that were planted before the 15th of Shvat are from 1 year, and all the other ones happen to be in the next year. So one of the reasons why we have to separate is because there are actually very specific laws of how you have to treat a tree. The first 3 years of the tree, we don't eat their fruits. And then if it grows in the land of Israel, you only eat on the fourth time, you will bring it to the temple when we had it. This time we don't bring it to anybody, and only on the 5th year you would eat it. And so the way you know how old the tree is by figuring out when it was planted, before the 15th of Shvat or after. So it says, what is this holiday, which is a beautiful holiday, has to do with us, the people, right? So it actually says that every single person is compared to a tree. And if you think about it, it's true, right? Think of a tree. What comes to your mind when you think of a tree? A tree has usually good roots, right? If a tree doesn't have roots, it's going to fall down. Then it has a trunk, right? And then it has twigs, and then it has leaves, and it has fruits. So the same way a human being, a person, has roots. What are our roots? Our roots are our parents, our grandparents, people we came from. So who are our roots? The first ones are Abraham and Sarah, the first Jewish people. And then their children, Yitzchak and Rivka, and then their children, Yaakov and Rochel and Leah, and so on, and Moshe and Aaron, and all the Jewish people in between. These are our roots. So it says, if a tree wants to survive, it needs to have very strong roots. So if we remember about our roots, then we, as Jewish nation and ourselves, we're going to be very, very strong. So it's very important to have good roots. Then what's a trunk? A trunk is the way we hold ourselves, right? So it says it's very important to be able to, to hold up. To a Jew is supposed to walk very straight. It's supposed to be a proud Jew. And the way we are keeping ourselves straight and proud is by remembering who we are. So it's very good to learn about our Jewish traditions, just like we're doing now. It's very important to have Jewish traditions in the house, right? Whatever you can do is always good. So that's our trunk. That's what makes us strong, by remembering who we are and keeping our traditions. And then our leaves and our twigs and things that we always stretch forward. Usually trees always go forward, up. Have you thought about it? It's very little number of trees would be, actually swaying down. Most of them are going up because we're always going towards the light, towards good things. And the way we nurture our twigs and our leaves and our fruits, by doing good things. These are the things that we reach out to the world. So the more good things we do, the more beautiful our leaves, the more beautiful. And this is what's called a mitzvah. Mitzvah in Hebrew means a connection. Usually people think of it as a good deed, but really it's translated as a connection. So every time we do a good deed, we connect to our creator, and we connect to the world and to the people around us. And that produces good things in the world. It produces fruit and leaves and good things, right? So what's the lesson for us for Tu B'Shvat? The one lesson is to remember about our roots, to be a proud Jew and walk straight, right? And to reach out to the world with good deeds so that we can continue to grow and become, you know, wonderful, beautiful trees and wonderful Jewish nation as a whole. Also, if you think about it, we derive a lot of benefits from a tree, right? A tree gives us shade, right? So we always have to think about, so if the tree gives us shade, right, we always have to think not only about ourselves, but also about other people as well, right? So it's not only good, it's not always, you know, good to think, oh, what's in it for me or what's good for me. It's also, maybe somebody needs my help. Maybe I can help somebody. So that's one thing we can learn from a tree, right? The way it provides shade. Also, we know the tree gives us lots of things that we can use, right? The paper we write on or we draw on, you know, the different things that we make out of a tree. So we always have to think, how can we be useful to the world, right? For example, I maybe was born with a talent to sing, but if I never use that talent, then I'm just keeping it to myself. I'm not sharing it with the rest of the world. Or let's say I'm a good artist, or I know how to do something really well. So it's very important to share that and to help others maybe use my talent and to be able to enjoy my talent. And that's something we can also learn from a tree, right? So just like we use things from the tree, we have to use our talents and our gifts that God gave us so that we can enjoy it and also other people can enjoy it. So the way we celebrate Tu B'Shvat is actually by taking the seven main things that the land of Israel is famous for. And one of them is actually wheat, right? Because wheat is something that grows from the ground and something we make different beautiful things from. Another one is barley, which is a food that's usually you can make different soups with it. And then there's the fruits of the land of Israel. And those are figs and dates. Also, we eat olives. That's another thing that the land of Israel is famous for. Pomegranates and many other things. So what people usually do on Tu B'Shvat, they sit down with their families or whoever you have in your house, and you take some of these fruits and vegetables that grow in the land of Israel, and you make a blessing on it. And all these fruits and vegetables that I mentioned, the ones are the pomegranate, the olives, the figs, and the things that I mentioned, they all come from a tree. And so this is the blessing we usually make. We say, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz, which literally means something, blessed be God, the creator of the whole world, who gave forth fruits from the tree. And also another custom that we do is we actually take a new fruit, something that you haven't eaten since Rosh Hashanah, since the new year for the whole year, and you make a special blessing on it. So many people try, some people try to eat maybe like, maybe you've heard of a dragon fruit that looks like a dragon, a little bit something new, or maybe they will eat like a carob, which is a special like brown, this kind of a fruit, which is also the land of Israel is famous for. And they would say one more blessing that would say Shechechiyanu, which is a blessing that we say when we do something for the first time that year. And that blessing goes like this. It says, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechechiyanu v'kiyimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh, which literally means, blessed are you, the creator of the world, for giving me the opportunity to experience this, for letting me live to this moment, to experience this for the first time. And people say this blessing whenever they do something, again, as I said, for the first time. Actually, I wanted to say one more story. I wanted to say a story about the importance of taking care of others and of how the tree gives us a lesson on how it is important not to just think of ourselves, but also think of others. So one time, people were walking and they see an old man, a very old man, who was planting a carob tree. And you should know that a carob tree actually takes a very, very long time to blossom and to grow, sometimes even, years. It will take years for the fruits to come. And they see this old man carefully planting this tree, and they come to him and they say, excuse me, don't you know it's going to take you a long time for the fruits to come up? I don't think you'll be able to enjoy it. And the old man said, I know, I'm not planting it for myself. I'm planting it for my children and my grandchildren, just like my father and my grandfather planted it for me. So this is kind of the most important lesson of the Tu B'Shvat, is to remember who we are, where we came from, and remember what our ancestors and what our Jewish roots did for us, and then to give it to others, and then to give it to the people who are going to come next after us. So now I would like to present to you artist Yuliya Shulman, who is going to be talking about the multi-layered clay.
Hello, my name is Yuliya Shulman, and before I tell you about clay, I will tell you what we decided to do this year. This year, Center Makor invited 4 artists from our Massachusetts community. So we would create a tree together, representing a variety of arts that can be put together to make a tree. So for that tree, since I work with clay, we decided that it would be most fitting that clay represents the land, the soil, the ground. And I created this piece of clay, this sheet of clay, in a multicolored pattern that's unfortunately not very easy to see here, to portray the soil. It's not real clay, not clay that comes from the soil. It's polymer clay, it's synthetic, but still it's clay. And I chose earthy colors and put them together in a technique called extraordinary technique that allows to create such fun rectangular patterns that can be turned into anything you can think of. Jewelry would be an obvious choice, but it doesn't have to be. It can be all sorts of things for home, like light switch plates. And my latest project is coasters and mug cozies, which also takes a bit of knowing how to knit or crochet. And all those wonderful things are very versatile, a lot of fun, and not that hard to do. I'll be happy to teach classes if Center Makor organizes them when we can all get together.
Thank you, Yuliya, so much for this beautiful explanation of the clay creations that you make. They're gorgeous, and I hope you will take opportunity to take classes with Yuliya. I would like to do it myself. And now we're moving on to the next part of our presentation, which is actually the tree. And that is something that actually my daughter Shaina Rodkin made. I'm going to show you. It's an actual challah that's made shaped like a tree. I hope you can see the whole thing. This is the roots, then the trunk, and then on top are the actual leaves and flowers and etc. So challah is actually this one thing that's in between the physical and the spiritual, because challah is something that the Jewish people were fed while they were walking in the desert, while they were learning Torah for 40 years. They were eating man, right? And man is something that came literally from above, and it was covered by a layer of dew. And that's one of the reasons why every Friday night and a holiday, before we make the blessing on the challah, it's covered, just like it was covered by dew in the desert. So challah is something that God told us to make, right? To remember the month and to remember how we really had two portions. We collected two portions on Friday before Shabbos, and on Shabbos we didn't collect. And it's something that's literally we're eating. It's a physical thing we're eating. It's a staple of life we eat. But that's at the same time, it's something we make a blessing on. So it's both spiritual and physical. And it's something that I love to make. My kids all love to make. And I would love for you to also learn how to make challah. And challah is actually not that hard to make. Every single person can learn. And my 7-year-old boy, who has been doing it already for a year from scratch, from the beginning. So if he can do it and all my other kids can do it, that means you can do it too. I would love to teach you how to make challah. We can make different shapes, just like you saw with the tree, or we can make the traditional kind with 3 braids, 4 braids, 6 braids, or even 12 braided challah. Sometimes you can make that, or you can make different rolls and different animals and different things that you can. So it's a beautiful thing to make, and I would love to help you make it. You can reach out to me, or your parents can reach out to me through Center Makor. And I would love to speak to you and teach you how to do it. Thank you. Our next presenter is going to be speaking about the leaves. Now, the leaves and the flowers is a very important part of the tree, and that's going to be presented by our master, Luda Levi, who does quilted color paper.
So hello everyone, and happy Tu B'Shvat to all. For this special project, I created some leaves and some flowers and I used a technique that calls quilling. It's a very ancient technique. Some say it started way back in Egypt, some say somewhere in China, but it basically uses stripes of paper that, of course, we create from trees that rolled into rolls like this one. And then we can manipulate this form to create any form we wish. So like in just a few more touches, I can create something like this that will look like some of the leaves. I hope you can see it. So when you combine some of them together, you can create a larger shape. It can be as a painting, it can be a frame, it can be even jewelries like earrings like this. You can see here, I can show you, it's a little bird that you can create. And the beauty of this is the color. I especially love the colors that I can use on every project. It can be anything you wish, and there's no limit. So everything you can imagine, you can create from this paper. Even more complicated project like this one. This is another tree that I created as a room sign. And today I also teach classes for kids and for adults. So if you are interested in learning how to make your own quilling project, or you just want to order something for your house, you're more than welcome to reach out, or just go to my website, Alma Original Art, or at Center Makor. Happy holiday.
Thank you so much, Luda, for that beautiful presentations of your beautiful work. I would love to learn how to do this as well. It sounds complicated, but it looks amazing. Now we're moving on to the birds and the butterflies, which is usually obviously a part of any tree. They always hover around, and that's going to be presented by our artist Inessa Ostrova, who does paper origami.
Hello everyone, my name is Inessa Ostrova, and I am doing 3D origami. It's called 3D origami because it was made but like a little bit different way, not like regular origami. It's made from a lot of different triangles which is folding from regular piece of paper like this. And like another artist before me said, she likes different colors. I like different colors as well, because this you can imagine how many different colors of paper possible to make from tree. Everything what you can see is that it's only paper. You can use paper for business use, you can use paper for different kind of purpose. And the most important things what you can use from paper, you have a lot of fun and have and do different kind project like this. You can see different colors and beautiful bird like this. It's living on a tree. You know, the tree gives the home for different kind of creature. They living there, they eating there. All these creatures, they living on a tree. And tree gives a lot of shelter and homes for different creatures. So back to my 3D origami. 3D origami, it's little triangles, different sizes. It's folding. This is piece of paper. It's folding a special way to create this kind of triangles. And when you connect these triangles special way, you create different kind shapes, and you can do different sizes, different colors, different shapes, and it's when it's come together, it's happened like this kind of different project. And if you interested to learn how to make the 3D origami, you can reach me out through Center Makor. They can help me to find me. And like before, the artist said this is Asian style of folding paper, and it was invented just recently in 1996. If to compare regular origami, which was invented in 16th century, this is modern style of origami, and it's called 3D origami. So you have to understand and don't mix it. It's absolutely different style to make origami. So again, you can reach me through Center Makor if you're interested to learn how to do this kind style of origami. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ina, for that amazing presentation of origami. I hope you all enjoyed our presentations, and I hope you enjoyed our artists, and I hope you will reach out to us to help you make all these beautiful events. Happy to be Shvat.
Chitty bitty bim bum, chitty bitty bim bum, chitty bitty bim bum.